Yesterday at work, I experienced something so bad, it's remarkable and almost wondrous.
Holy smokes. Look at that. We are down to tenths.
And listen, watch to the end because you're going to want to see how this story unfolds. It's almost miraculous in what happened with this brake job.
Yeah, I went to go take it for a test drive because the complaint was that the steering felt wobbly going around corners and to check the brakes. Right. So I pulled out of the parking lot and I didn't even make it like 10 feet before I was like, oh, these brakes sound so bad. I was starting to think maybe the bearings in the axle might have been bad, right? So I just finished my lap around the building real quick. I pull it in here and like my teeth are hurting just from the sound, you know? It was
like
so
fingernails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, or
Brake.
chewing on freaking aluminum foil.
Right, chewing aluminum foil. There's a hole in the rotor. There's a hole in the rotor. That's really bad. I don't think I've ever seen brakes this bad in my life. I've seen pictures, but here before me is the worst rotor. Millimeters. That is amazing. It's kind of been metal to metal for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't it nuts?
Escalade. It's an Escalade too.
Yeah, and it's got a hole in the airbag too.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. How old is this thing?
It's an 03. And ironically enough, the tires are only 2 years newer than the truck.
Wow.
Yeah, she needs some help. Just a little bit.
Man, that is amazing. That is epic. Epic bad brakes. Dang.
I never thought I'd get to experience something like that in person, honestly.
Me neither.
I only ever see it in memes, you know?
Right. Here it is. It does happen. It's not just a trick, it's a lathe.
Right.
Wow.
I know this puts those Amazon T250s to shame.
Yeah, right?
That's saying something.
It's like $2,000, everything that needs to be done to this vehicle. So younger guy, it's a 2003 Escalade, and he doesn't have the money to do the job. And we pull it out of the shop.
Not a bad looking rig at all. Nice. Body's in nice shape. 03 Escalade, green. It could use headlight defogging, but other than that, I mean, look at it.
So as my coworker Anthony is pulling the rig out of the shop, and this is his job, we have financing, at the shop. Financing plans.
Nice looking rig.
The guy was like, 19, 20 years old, so we didn't have high hopes, I guess. But he applies for financing, and he gets the financing. So we pull it back in the shop.
Wow. So they approved the brake job, and then trying to pull it off, this happened. Look at that.
The hat came off completely.
You gotta see this.
The hat came off completely. That was just from pulling it off the alignment rack to the parking lot and then back in here.
That is just amazing.
There's no way this guy would have made it back to his house.
Look at this!
Now, if the brim of the hat or the halo, right, the rotor would have came off on, if he chose to drive it home, man, or if the odds of that thing binding up in that back wheel and having that back wheel lock up is pretty high. Like, this guy could have been severely injured if this job hadn't been done when it was done.
I want you to take a picture.
On that day, kind of amazing, right?
So you didn't even pull on it yet or anything?
Literally all I did was take the tire off.
We took off the wheel. That was it. Didn't try and remove the rotor, didn't take the caliper off. It obviously needed caliper on both sides. The calipers were both shot, or shocks were bad, all the way around.
Wow.
This happened between the time I pulled it off the rack and it got pulled in here again.
Wow.
The rotor separated from the...
Because you saw the before picture.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, all three of you did.
That could have been catastrophic.
After I pulled it out.
life is precious, you know? Like sometimes things happen and you're just like, wow, it is so incredibly fortunate, call it even miraculous, that this guy brought in his Escalade when he did. So as it turned out, this story had a happy ending, but this goes to show why you should never drive your car around with grinding brakes for a long period of time. Like you start hearing them grind, you get them fixed, or you park the vehicle and stop driving it. Don't forget to subscribe, and why not watch another video? Stick around!